subscribe. Tariq Radio, like and subscribe.
All right, I'm in the building. I'm in the building. I'm in the building. I'm in the building. What's going on, family? Glad to have you guys in here, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to have y'all in here. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. Hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys have been productive. Hope you guys have been stacking your paper. Hope you guys have been educating yourselves. Hope you've been reading, studying, learning, teaching your loved ones, teaching your children, expanding the brain, expanding your mind, strengthening your spirituality, strengthening the Majara energy within you, and loving each other and building and being constructive. Glad to have everybody in here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get deep tonight. Waiting on everybody to come on in the room. Everybody, if you can hear me good, give me a thumbs up, please. If you can hear me clearly, if you can give me a thumbs up to let me know everything is good, that would be phenomenal. And while we're waiting on everybody to come on in the room, let me do a real quick shout out of some of the regulars in the building. Let me give you guys a shout out. Let me shout out, let me see, Chosen One. Let's see, Chosen One. I see Rain Love. I see Layla. I see, who else we got? A lot of people. Future Expat. We got Joe Lou. We got Jess. We got um, the Black Vanguard Soldier in the building. We got Love I Am. We got Fish and Grits. We got Brother Marak, Ani Asaru, Sweets, Rhonda, um, Latia, Actify Press. We got Ty Powell. We got the Black Republican. Oh, everybody's up here tonight. The lovely, lovely Melanie in the house. We got Sir Mike, Miss Trinity, Hoodoo, Brother Arthur in the building. We have Ernez, lovely Yoshi G, Nikki the God Solon, the Tethernator. Glad to have y'all in here. Now let's get right into what we're going to talk about. We're going to get deep tonight, family. We're going to get real deep tonight. Now, the Super Bowl, people are still talking about the Super Bowl and the performances and everything. And another thing that people have been talking about, they've been talking about the Black National Anthem. At a lot of major sporting events, people sing the national anthem, and then we have somebody sing the Black National Anthem. And when we do the Black National Anthem, boy, the white supremacists and even the tethers, boy, the white supremacists and those guys, they get real bent out of shape. They just really have a little hissy fit when we do the Black National Anthem. Oh, God, why do we have to divide based on race? It's only one national anthem, dude. God, why should we give the blacks? Why should we give the blacks special treatment, dude? They think anything symbolic, anything remotely symbolic to us is some kind of special treatment that we don't deserve. Anything that focuses on foundational Black Americans that other people are not focused on, oh God, all hell has to break loose. It's all of the sky is falling. Oh God, there's about to be a slave revolt because Black people are being focused on. And it's not even something tangible. It's a symbolic gesture. So why do these people get so bent out of shape over the Black national anthem, the Lift Every Voice and Sing song? And we've been doing that song for over 100 years. And we got to understand something. Foundational Black Americans, we are the most patriotic people in this country. Let's be very clear. First of all, nobody in America is more patriotic than foundational Black Americans at all. Hands down, without any question. There are no people who are more patriotic than us. And the thing is, when we look at patriotism in this country, when we look at patriotism, nobody holds a candle to foundational Black Americans. I mean, from top to bottom, even the Revolutionary War, the first person to die for America was a foundational Black American, Crispus Attucks, who was um, mixed with African and Black Indigenous. He was mixed with Black Indigenous. That represents what America is. He was the first person to take a bullet for the United States in the Revolutionary War. Yeah? We fought for America's freedom while still being enslaved. Foundational Black Americans literally built the economic foundation of America. Because the patriotism is about building your country, not just benefiting from it. It's about building. No other group has contributed more to the build and the rise of the United States as a superpower than foundational Black Americans. We built the infrastructure, the agricultural economy, and the wealth of this nation, and without pay. You understand? From the cotton industry, the tobacco industry, all of this stuff made the US a global superpower. We had our hands in building the capital of this nation. Benjamin Banneker built the streets and designed the streets, and we physically built the White House with our own hands, ladies and gentlemen. You don't get more patriotic than that. You understand? In foundational Black Americans, we created Memorial Day. We've talked about this before. We talk about this every year. Memorial Day, it was recognized as a national holiday, but it was foundational Black Americans who were taking it upon themselves to honor the Union soldiers who fought in the war. We thought we should give them special recognition when it was really us. It was some of the Black Maroons and some of the Black freedmen who fought in the war who really won the war. That's what Abraham Lincoln said. But we said, hey, we'll give credit where we think credit is due. We'll give them thanks too, because the white supremacists were kind of mad at each other. So we said, hey, we'll pay homage to the people who helped keep the Union together. We'll stand up and do that. You see, we are the real patriots of this nation, ladies and gentlemen. Foundational Black Americans, we've served in every war, even while being oppressed. From the Revolutionary War to World War II to Vietnam to Iraq, every major U.S. conflict while being denied our own basic rights here. Even in World War II, Black soldiers, like my uncle, I had an uncle fighting in World War II. They're fighting fascism abroad. They're going over there freeing people, getting people out of the concentration camps. Then you come back here dealing with some damn Jim Crow. You understand? That's an extreme act of patriotism. You see? We're the only group that fought for America. You know, other groups fought against this country. Southern whites, the white Confederates, they fought against this country. See, N- that's why I say no other group can really claim real patriotism, or they can't out patriot foundational Black Americans. Foundational Black Americans, we've never tried to destroy the nation. We've never tried to destroy this nation. We've always tried to make it better. Now, the Southern white supremacists who run around here talking about their patriots, and they're creating these white supremacist groups like Patriot Front. They use the word patriot, but they don't live up to it. Them white Confederates, they went against this country. They committed treason. They tried to destroy the United States. Yeah. Hell, even the January 6 guys, remember them? Many of those were patriots, and they ran right up in that Capitol building trying to have an insurrection. Yeah. See, the thing is, we as foundational Black Americans, because of our patriotism, because we are the true Americans, we're not immigrants. We are indigenous to the United States. I really want y'all to understand that. We are indigenous to the United States. Listen to the wording I'm doing. Because when you talk about indigenous, you think, okay, red natives. The red natives are not indigenous to the United States because They're sovereign citizens, and many of those tribes have been co-opted by the white supremacists, and many of the red natives had absolutely nothing to do with the building of the United States whatsoever. They didn't. Now, the black aboriginals did. We became classified as Negro, and we built the structure of the United States, and we had an ethnogenesis. And within that ethnogenesis, we became unique and indigenous to the United States. No other group is indigenous to the United States except foundational Black Americans. That's either true or not true. No other group. You cannot name no other group who's indigenous to the United States, meaning you're the foundation of it. That point has to be driven home every day. You see? And we, as foundational Black Americans, we've always pushed America to live up to its own ideals. You see? Damn all that hypocrisy. They'll say one thing and then do something else. All men are created equal, but I got this slave that I'm. No, no. We can't have that nonsense. We're going to have a 13th and 14th Amendment. We're going to have real equality. Remember, 13th, 14th Amendment, those were grassroots movements coming from foundational Black Americans. These were movements that we started. You understand? No other group has defended America's Constitution more than foundational Black Americans. These white supremacist so-called founding fathers, they wrote about freedom, equality, and justice. They didn't apply these things. These were degenerates. It was us through court battles, struggles, protests, people from Frederick Douglass to Thurgood Marshall to Dr. King. We've been saying, hey, let's honor this damn Constitution here. Let's honor it. Let's live up to it. You see? So we as foundational Black Americans, we represent the true value of America or what America represents than any other group. If America stands for freedom, justice, equality, hard work, and perseverance, then foundational Black Americans, we're the only group that has lived out these ideas on the highest level. You understand? We fought for freedom while being enslaved. We fought for justice while being denied it. We worked to build America while being excluded from the rewards. You understand? No other group has done more to make America live up to the so-called greatness. No other group. That's why people can just come over here and pull up a table. So let's understand that. We are the true patriots. So when we do songs like Lift Every Voice and Sing, there's a reason why we need to have that. And that's not a replacement for the national anthem, but it's something that balances out the hypocrisy of it. Because the regular national anthem is a very hypocritical song. The national anthem, it's about oppression. Francis Scott Key, the guy who wrote the Star Spangled Banner, that was a hardcore white supremacist. You understand? And we needed something, and that's what we do. We put something out there to balance the bullshit. We needed something that would balance the bullshit. The Star Spangled Banner, and there's the third stanza. No, we've talked about it before that a lot of folks don't talk about, which mentions slavery. The song, let me try to put it in Cliff Notes. There's a part in the song about the War of 1812 where there were slaves who were fighting with Britain and they were promised their freedom. And I think they were killed. So the Star Spangled Banner, that third stanza, celebrates the murder of these slaves. And Scott Keys, this guy was a hardcore white supremacist. He openly said that black people were inferior and they would never be equal to the white man. This is the guy who wrote the Star Spangled Banner. So when we do Lift Every Voice and Sing, the Negro National Anthem, that's what they used to call it back in the early 1900s. See, number one, people in the dominant society, they have a problem with it because it forces an acknowledgement of their racial hypocrisy. You understand? Lift Every Voice and Sing, that's a symbolic recognition to freedom, equality, and the whole nine. You see? And also the dominant society, they see that as a threat to white cultural dominance. See, the Star Spangled Banner, that's tied to white dominated identity. And for centuries, white America, they controlled who would be seen as true Americans. See, with the inclusion of Lift Every Voice and Sing, see, that represents a cultural shift where foundational Black American identity is recognized as distinct yet very pivotal to American culture. You see? And you got to understand how the white supremacists are. They resent, they really hate losing exclusive cultural ownership over national symbols. See, they like to call the shots. They hate when we get out there and start calling the cultural shots on a global stage. It's that just shut up and dribble. Remember what they said about LeBron, Fox News? They just shut up and dribble. That's what they want us to do. Just shut up and dribble. When we start making cultural points out there, oh, they got an issue with it. And also, a lot of people are very uncomfortable with Black um, self determination because, see, Lift Every Voice and Sing is not a replacement album, anthem. It's an anthem that speaks to the unique experiences of foundational Black Americans. And the dominant society, they fear any assertion to Black self determination, seeing that as divisive rather than celebratory. You understand? So they get upset with us doing the Black national anthem, but they don't have a problem with Confederate songs, Irish immigrant parades, German heritage celebrations. They don't have a problem with none of that stuff because, see, that doesn't challenge white America's dominance. We're the only people, foundational Black Americans, we're the only ones who challenges um, systematic and global white supremacy. We're the only ones who challenge that. And see, a lot of the white supremacists, when we do songs at these major events where the world is watching, you see, because that puts us in a dignified position to the world. See, we force them to show us some damn global dignity on our terms. You see? And see, the white supremacists, they fear stuff like that. That's going to inspire Black empowerment. See, throughout history, the white supremacists, they've always feared cultural expressions that unified foundational Black Americans. Because us being really unified, that's collective strength. That's scary. And the song Lift Every Voice and Sing, that's a very patriotic song. It's about resilience, faith, liberty. And a lot of people in the dominant society, when we show dignity, that means these Negroes are going to start asking for shit. That's what they equate. When we do anything with some damn dignity, you know what's coming. Because the name of the game is to keep us dumb, stupid, twerking, pussy popping. They love that. When we do something with any form of dignity and it catches on, that's when they start tripping. Uh-oh. Oh, these Negroes are starting to love themselves. Oh shit, they're gonna be asking for them reparations. Here they go. They know what's coming next. That when we get some dignity going, hey, since I'm loving on myself and my community, I would love my check that's owed to me too. We gonna get on that. You see. And also, this whole thing, when we start singing the Black National Anthem, they start talking that woke nonsense. They use wokeness as an epithet. So anything that recognizes Black struggle or history is labeled as woke, and they've used woke as a pejorative. That's why we got to control words. That's why they're taking a lot of history out of schools in certain states, the Ron DeSantis's and people like that. That's why we got some more history documentaries coming this year. That's why that's on us. If they want to take it out of school, that's fine. We got enough knowledge, talent, and skill to do our own films, to do our own education pieces. That's what we did with Hidden Colors. We didn't get approval for Hidden Colors. We made Hidden Colors a global phenomenon where families all around this country sat up here and studied these films together and taught their children. People grew up on Hidden Colors. Remember, this was like over a decade ago. So people were 10, 11, 12 years old. They're adults now. And I hear people all the time telling me how they grew up on that series. You see? Very impactful. And we did it on our own. We can keep doing that. You see? But it's very important to not be afraid to stand on patriotism business. Because, see, this ties in to the delineation movement that we have now. Because foundational Black Americans are showing a certain level of patriotism, I want y'all to understand how this is confusing the white supremacists. Family, do y'all know what kind of monkey wrench we've thrown in the game right now? I want y'all to really soak this in, family. Because let's go back to the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. Family, that got popular because the military used that song because they've always known that the song was about white supremacy. They always known that the song had white supremacist leanings. They knew Francis Scott Key was a white supremacist. The song was pro-slavery. They would use the Star Spangled Banner early in the military. The military would use it first. World War One. That's when they started using it. It became a national anthem, I think 1931, something like that. But the military first started using it around World War One. And the reason why they would use it, they used it as a weapon to squash black protest. Because in the military, you got to understand, they wanted black people and needed black people to fight in the military because you couldn't get these immigrants because we were going to war with a lot of them. World War One, we're going to war with some of these places where they're bringing immigrants in. So you can't bring these immigrants in when we're going to war with their country. So they had to put a lot of black people in the military. So black people are fighting overseas, and you got to understand at the time, while you're fighting for this country, you're in segregated barracks, and then you come back and you're coming back to damn Jim Crow. You just fought for the country overseas, and then you come back to second class citizenship. So black people in the military they felt a certain way about it. So they would throw that Star Spangled Banner thing. They would make everybody sing the Star Spangled Banner. And if anybody opposed or said anything negative about how the US was treating them, they tried to say, oops, well, you're being non-patriotic. Oh, you must hate America. How you gonna fight in the military and you hate America? No, 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 you can't complain. So that was the purpose of it at first. It was really to be used to weaponize it against black protests. And then they started to use it in games, and sports was very segregated. Sports were segregated. And when they would bring in people like Jackie Robinson, people like that, um, and started to slowly get some of those Negro League players in some of these games, they would we're going to do the national anthem and you guys be quiet about being segregated against. Don't you say nothing about it. That's going to make you look unpatriotic. They were really doing that heavily in the 60s, doing that Star Spangled Banner at different events during all of the protests in the 60s. So if black people said anything, oh God, you guys are so unpatriotic. You hate America. Oh, you need to sit down. Same thing they did with our brother Colin Kaepernick. They used that Star Spangled Banner. He took a knee for the national anthem. Oh God, how dare you? My grandfather was a veteran. They would use that bullshit. If you hate America, just leave. If you don't like America, just get the hell out of here. So it was always used to be weaponized against our protest. Now, family, here's the thing. Now, let's look at the game that happened the last Super Bowl. It was foundational Black Americans being extremely patriotic. Do you see how confused the white supremacists were? Even at the game, they didn't know how to act about it. They're confused now. They're very confused. Now, this delineation movement that we got going on, this has put a wrench in a lot of stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Because see, when we reclaim, is what we're doing, we're reclaiming our American nationalism on our own terms. So that disrupts the historic weaponization of patriotism by the white supremacists. You see? So now they got to figure out how to recalibrate this shit. They don't know what to do. Their usual method is, well, damn it, If you don't love America, go back to Africa, because they're so used to us saying, "Oh, hey man, we need to be Pan-African, man. We need to get up out of here. This country hate us, man. This country, we're so used to acting like foreigners, which is what they wanted us to do. We stopped that foreign bullshit because we ain't. We're like, wait a minute, this is our joint. That flag is ours. It was a foundational Black American girl, Grace Wisher, who was one of the original seamstresses of that flag. So we're owning this stuff, you see? So they can't use patriotism as a bludgeon against Black protests, because now that has lost its effectiveness. So how are they going to act now? They don't know what to do. So now they've lost that unpatriotic Black narrative. See, the white supremacists, they've long used this patriotism to demonize Black resistance. Any critique of America is un-American. But see, we're embracing that American nationalism, and that neutralizes that weapon. And see, when this movement claims our rightful place, that's the foundation of the country, it removes their ability to frame Black activism as un-American. You see, this is why people are having a fit about us recognizing our culture. It confuses them. When we recognize ourselves as foundational Black Americans, that puts a dent in the game. Also, the white supremacists, they can no longer gatekeep patriotism. See, for centuries, the dominant white society, they positioned themselves as the sole arbitrator of what it means to be American. And foundational Black Americans, we have embraced our historic role in building this country. That exposes the hypocrisy of this, showing that the real true American nationalism, it can't exclude the people who literally created the wealth and the culture. So when we start pointing out everything that we created, oh no, 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 no. You ain't more American than me. Oh, we can, oh, you put us next to a white supremacist, we can point out all day how we're more American than them. In fact, the white supremacists, they are, in fact, anti-American. And I just pointed that out earlier. They don't, all they care about is white supremacy. They don't care about laws, the Constitution, or nothing. They violate the Constitution all the time. They are the most un-American, you see? And also the hypocrisy of the white nationalists, that's further exposed. See, many of the white nationalists, they love claiming the Constitution. But when we assert ownership of these same values, the white supremacists, they're forced to contradict their own beliefs or admit that their patriotism was all about race and not principles, which is good. Let's force them to admit that you are white supremacists. Stop trying to hide behind American patriotism. No, you are white supremacists. We force them to own up to that, which is good. See, this is what I'm saying. We got to stop letting people be covert. The other day, I did a show about covert and blatant white supremacy and blatant oppression. See, we got to draw the bullshit out. Like I had a caller who called up trying to be all nice and trying to be covert, and then I just prodded him a little bit. Then the N word just started flowing right on out. That's what I like. I like a blatant white supremacist, not none of that covert stuff. See, that's the problem. We sat up here and let these people be covert. No, no, no. Let them be blatant. Let them come on out and say what they need to say so they can expose themselves. And that's how they trip themselves up. See, their power is being covert. The covertness, that's where the power is, sneaking the shit around you. See, when they're overt, they can't sneak. We see where it's coming from, and then we can counter resist it. You see? Because we're controlling the narrative. And us controlling the narrative and having our foundational Black American patriotism, that erodes that whole go back to Africa nonsense. Because that used to be their go-to argument to Black activism. Oh God, if you didn't like it, just get back to Africa, dude. And see, when we lean into our indigenous American identity and contribution, see, that completely dismantles that argument. We are not immigrants. We are the American foundation. So all of those deflections are irrelevant. You are a guest on our land. You understand? You don't let no white supremacists tell you about your land when they immigrated here. Now they'll try to lie to say when they did it. My family came here on the Mayflower, dude. No, they wouldn't. You They love lying. White supremacists big liars. Your family came over in Ellis Island in 1923 sometime. Nobody's on no goddamn Mayflower. They try to really push their timeline back. They're worse than Puerto Ricans when it comes to hip hop. I was there. I was there in the beginning with Kool Herc. No, you weren't. Shut up. You see? Also, us reclaiming the flag. See, that's the biggie right there. When we Foundation of Black Americans, we reclaim that American flag. See, that flag has been used to as a symbol to silence Black resistance. But see, when we reclaim that flag as our own, see, that forces the white supremacists to do one or two things. You either share the flag or you abandon it. So that puts them in a lose-lose situation. You see? If they reject the flag, yeah, that loses that patriotic facade. Now, if they embrace it, they must acknowledge Black ownership of the nation's legacy. You understand? It puts them in a corner, which is good. Like I said, that Kendrick performance really confused a lot of these people. When I'm looking at some of the playback of the Super Bowl, they didn't know how to really act to it. It wasn't just the lyrics and all. No, 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 no. They're not. Just the patriotism that was shown, that was throwing the white supremacists off. I'm telling you. That's why I saw some white women, they were like, well, the performance, why wasn't any white people out there? They didn't have white dancers. They didn't know what to say. Just really confused them. Like, does this mean the blacks are taking over America? What does this mean? Oh God, what does this mean? It's a complete monkey wrench to them, family. I'm telling you, they don't know what to do about us claiming our foundational black American nationalism. You see, because now you got the left wing and the right wing, they're struggling to control the narrative now. See, both political parties, they've both exploited black identity. See, the Democrats, they've expected blind loyalty, and the Republicans, they assume that black people will just keep rejecting America. And that was their trump card. If you hate America so much, go somewhere else. Oh, America is the greatest. Yeah, America is great. We made it great. And see, us embracing our American nationalism while still demanding reparations and justice, both parties struggle to put us in a box now. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. And also, military and law enforcement patriotism, that becomes complicated because, see, the military and law enforcement, they often use patriotism to justify their actions against Black people. But when we assert our rights as true patriots, see, that challenges the legitimacy of these institutions that America pretends to uphold. And that forces them to reckon with history and us. And now a lot of the white supremacists in the administrative arm of white supremacy that they're struggling to justify their anti-black policy. See, a foundation of black Americans, if we're openly embracing our American nationalism while also pushing for reparations and legal protections, because we want those crime bills and economic justice, then the white supremacists, they're going to have a harder time to justify why those demands should be ignored because you can't use the whole black people hate America when we are the ones defining what America truly is. You understand? And then this is a hell of a psychological impact on the white supremacists because they're so used to controlling the narrative of American history and identity. And when we proudly declare that we're America's first patriots, that psychologically that destabilizes their belief in white ownership of the nation, and that forces them into a position of ideological confusion. You see, that's why they don't really know how to act when we come in with our American flags and letting people know that we are foundational black Americans. They just don't know how to act and respond to it because see, now there's a cultural shift in power. There's a shift in cultural power. See, the white supremacists, see, they've always relied on cultural dominance in order to maintain control, like naming us. They like to give us the name. You guys are African American. You guys are going to be colored. And we're saying, you know what? We're going to be foundational Black Americans. We like that, boy. We like that name for our lineage. And we're going to define what it is. You see? So they've been using all of these things as weapons, and we've embraced these things that have been used as weapons. Now, while we're asserting our cultural and historic ownership of these symbols, see, the power dynamic shifts. You see, they're going to have to embrace what we're saying and come correct and do the right thing, or they're going to have to abandon it. So we got them in a pickle. This was a major shift that they weren't expecting. When you value yourself and you value the nation you built and you stop acting like a guest in your nation, all of their weapons have been destroyed, which is a good thing. So man, we should have been delineating. And I love it. And the fact that we have foundational Black American patriotism that is more authentic and more genuine than that fake authenticity or fake patriotism of the dominant white society, this really, really moves the needle. It really, really moves the needle, ladies and gentlemen. And politically, they don't know what to do. Socially, they don't know what to do. So, what they do is get ops to come among us and try to tell us that we're really Africans. Notice all of the people who come around trying to force us into Africanness. That's one of the tactics they're using. They're getting a lot of their ops. That's why every time we start talking, there's ops who pop in trying to tell us, oh, y'all ain't no real Americans. Y'all is Yoruba. It's always some idiot trying to tell us who we are. These are ops. That's who the white supremacists send over. They don't have any other tactics, family. So we're in a great space right now. This is a great zone, ladies and gentlemen.